If you're feeling good about black girls, don't worry, Jermaine Dupri's like, hold my beer.
He's like, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. He got some folks buzzing because he said today's female rappers only talking about stripping. He said that when you listen to, today's hip hop, you don't hear anything about, it sounds like a strip club music, and all you hear about is women talking about their strip club experience. And Cardi B, yet another star in this Black Girl Magic class, had a clap back. Here's what she said.
There's a lot of female rappers that be rapping their ass off and don't be talking about their pussy and don't be talking about, getting down and dirty. And y'all don't be supporting them. Y'all don't be supporting them and they be mad dope. These bloggers don't support them. They don't give them the recognition. So don't blame that on us when y'all not the one that's supporting them.
Ooh. Wow, Cardi went in.
Yeah.
As she always does.
I appreciated it.
Me too.
What'd you think, though? First of all, what'd you think about what Jermaine said?
Okay, I think...
That eye roll.
I think Jermaine said what he said, but I don't think it's right. I think yes, you do have women who talk about their vaginas and stripping, but then you have people like Tierra Whack and Rhapsody who are lyrical beasts. I mean, Tierra Whack is one of my favorite artists who's out right now, who can out-rap damn near everybody in class.
Even Meek said that.
Men, women, it don't matter. She's dope, and she don't go around patting her, her pocketbook, as my grandmother called it. She don't do that. Yeah, that was what happened when I was 5. Yeah, shout out to Nana.
That's your pocketbook.
But yeah, this is a girl pocketbook. But yeah, there are not just women. I think when we think about hip hop, if we want to say that, then that means men are just talking about killing and selling drugs,
right,
which
I was
is
about to say.
not true. Like a lot.
But it's true to the extent that women are rapping about their pocketbooks.
Right, but it's not only.
Right,
like
exactly.
We're in a space where there are women who rap about that, but now there are known women in mainstream hip hop that don't rap about that as well. So you can't say that's all that women talk about in hip hop. You're generalizing. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I think what he said first of all was kind of trolly. Because at the end of the day, he's
so Def concert coming out soon.
Right, like he's worked with many a woman. Queen Latifah was a mentor on his show on Lifetime for the rap kids who want to be rap stars. So I'm like, that there's more than one type of woman that's rapping and creating music. But I do think that what Cardi said was right. In one of the clips in her videos, she was just like, I tried to make a song like Ring and Be Careful, and y'all were like, why you not talking about the strip hole? Why y'all didn't care about that song as much? And she was like, it's up to us as a community to uplift women like Tierra Whack and Rhapsody and all these incredible women who are incredible storytellers who don't talk about just sex. It's up to us to say, you know what, at the end of the day, I love Cardi when she raps about, sex and blah, blah, blah. She's the best at it. She even said her pussy was her best friend. That's what she said. But
pocketbook.
Pocketbook was her best friend. It is live morning television. But I think what we have to do as people is also make sure that we are allowing in those other types of rappers to not they don't have to look like everybody else. It is scary to scroll down your timeline and literally see like every single girl looks the same.
Right.
I guess I agree with everything y'all said. I just hate that we put this scrutiny on women for their content. And that was the point I was making before, and not on men.
Thank you.
Men rap about sex all the time.
All the time.
Every track is about hitting it. Every track is about...
raw, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of language that we hear in rap music all the time, and it doesn't become like a problem. No one says, men rap about sex so much. Men are so hyper-sexual. Rappers are so
They're killing everybody in their songs.
Right. Too much cocaine.
Right.
Like, we don't hear that in the same way that we hear women talk about these things. And another thing to think about, I think, is part of why some women are rapping about sex and their bodies is because they're trying to take back some of the language and some of the power and engage some body positivity and sex positivity against the current of these men who are out here talking about women in a certain way. So when I hear Megan Thee Stallion talk about sex and talk about her own pleasure and her own desire, that to me is important, because if I listen to just most of the hyper-masculine, misogynistic bars that come on a lot of radio networks or a lot of music networks, I don't get to understand that women might like sex and that women might want to choose their partners and stuff like that. So for me, that's important. The other thing for me is the weird nostalgia. Every generation does this, right? And I came up, me and Jermaine Dupri I mean, he's older than me, but I came up listening to the music that he was making.
Right.
And he's like, we had the Brat. Yeah, you had the Brat, but you're Lil' Kim.
Right.
And you had Foxy Brown. And back then, people were like, why Lil' Kim and Foxy talking about their bodies? Why are they talking about sex all the time? Back in the day, we had MC Light. Back in the day, we had... So every generation... Exactly.
Talking about pushing it
real good.
Real good.
So every generation...
Oh, baby, baby. You remember that? You remember the video?
Every generation does that, right? And acts like they didn't. So I'm like, let's not pretend here, Jermaine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the Brat didn't do that. Just like Tara Wack doesn't do that.
Right.
But there are other people who did do that in that moment.
Right, and I think, and I love that point you brought up about us taking back the power, because I think that's the reason why the hot girl summer, and I hate to bring up this conversation again.
No, it's important.
Over it, but I think that's the reason why that term and that phrase really permeated within our culture, because women were like, nah, we sick of it, like having to listen and having to be fans of hip hop, but have the most complicated relationship with rap music. Because if I was a person who everything I feel flows through your subconscious, whether you understand it or not. So if you're listening to songs all the time that are telling you you ain't worth nothing, get in the Uber, I messed with you last night, we done, see you later, don't text me, leave me alone, like all those things, it does start to mess with your psyche.
Right.
What I loved about Megan Thee Stallion is she's like, nah, actually no. So what we're about to do is, it's expensive to date me, this is happening, but at the end of the day, you and I are on the same playing field, or I have more power than you because of who I am and what I have, and because of my sexual feelings matter. And so I think that's why the hot girl summer has permeated so much and so deeply within the female culture, especially Black women, because we're like, it's about time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we do have someone every generation to say it, and I think Megan is just saying it the best. And first, and lastly, Megan is a lyricist.
Megan can rap.
Megan can flow. She's one of the
rap.
best freestylers in this generation.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's how she got on, because everybody saw her freestyles go viral.
First, yeah.
We was like, hold up now.
Yeah.
Right.
She sounds incredible. So you can talk about sex and still be a great rapper.